Hey, it's Glines Automator, another episode of what we automated with AutoHotkey. Let's get going. Start my recently modified files, which ironically I did change. This launches a bunch of scripts, but I did make a change to the recently modified files tool. It's going back 7 days. Last week, I put 3 here. I meant 3 weeks, so I should have said 21 days. So let me say 30 days, and I'll skim across stuff, because we would have missed a bunch of things. So let me do that. Every time the DPI, that's one thing I'll say, our DPI adjuster makes it easy, and it's not a problem of our function. It's that Windows, when you change the DPI, rearranges your icons, apparently because they might be off the screen, but puts them back on my primary monitor, which I don't want, which I did look into that, changing that, but it'd be, very custom, and it's not a big deal. It's just kind of annoying. All right. So 253 files. Yeah, so we've had been busy. Client work. Let's see. Oh, so I mentioned this last week, so I'm not going to touch on that one. But we're searching Grok and other tools from the like a command prompt. It pushes the query into Grok or ChatGPT. Or I put up a website last week if you want to check that out. That gives you the URL and how you provide the prompt. Add open location with icon. So this is the one, like if I show you, if I open an Explorer folder, Windows E, and I right click, on a script. Do I have any scripts right here? Nope. Let me go to the D drive. I think I have at least one right there. There we go. So this edit with AHK script maker, so that's there. Oh, that was actually the other one of the search. So if I come up here and search for when it finds stuff and I right click here, so that's open file location. That's what I added. There is it's down here, but it's buried and it doesn't have an icon. And I know there's a little thing, but I was just playing with it, so that's what I was working on. Could I do that? That's what that is. Edit with ASM. Now, this is the one I thought I was looking at, and that's when, I don't know, it should show here. Yeah, so edit with ASM. Instead of just saying edit script, because there's an edit with Notepad, I said, why don't we have it for Script Maker? So that's built into HK Script Maker now, and you can disable it, but by default, it will add this here, so it makes it very easy. This Packup AHK, that's also a tool of ours that will take the script, follow all the includes, and push it into one file for you, because if you're trying to give it to AI, it's really problematic to give it all if your files are broken up like they should be. It's very problematic, so this takes care of that for you. This is the one I was mentioning of sending a query to different pages, and I was playing with that. DaVinci, a hotkey. I was trying, and I guess, I was trying to block. I have my Windows Media Player or MP3 Media Player that uses a command and plays it, and I have a hotkey that I can hold down the wheel mouse and scroll up and down, and that changes the volume in it. Well, when I'm in DaVinci Resolve, that's a built-in hotkey that it has, and I was trying to say, hey, don't let it, I want to pass it on to my media player, because whenever I'm in DaVinci, I try to adjust my music, and I can't. It's the only time it happens, and so I was just playing around with that. Making some changes to the registry. Let's see, trusted folders. So this, by the way, if you've done an update in Windows where now when you download a file from the internet, it used to be just like Office programs, so Excel and Word and PowerPoint and stuff, you would download them and then you'd have this, hey, there's an internet flag gets added. Now there's been a Windows update that adds it to every file you download from the internet, regardless of the file type. So when I download AutoHotkey files or even PNG files, over on the right in Explorer, it says, sorry, we can't preview this because your file might be harmful. And it's a PNG. It's not harmful. So I was working on a tool that would automatically change that flag, remove the flag, so I can preview them. And I got it working for a given folder, but what I was thinking about doing was including the shell hooks to watch for a new file getting created. And when a new file gets created on my computer, go and remove that flag. Because thankfully, I have a clue what I'm doing. Not everyone does, and you don't want to do that for everybody. But if you know what you're doing and understand if something's from the internet, it might be bad. I don't need to be reminded of that every damn second and have to go change something. I have to go to properties and unselect the thing. It's really annoying. We got to get back to this Z order tool. It was very cool. Let me see if I can just run it from here. And we can get a list of programs, and it shows you the Z order. I'm not sure if which version this is. I'd have to go, because if this is in my folder, it's an older version. Yeah, this was the early versions. I'm going to close that, but we get a list of the Z orders and stuff. I also had one I was playing with showing the percentage of it's on the screen, which I thought was really cool. I didn't know we did anything for Josh, or maybe Josh. I don't remember. No, I'm not going to worry about that. AHK Scriptmaker. Boy, we've been making a ton of updates to this editor. Let me show it real quickly here, and I'll do a very quick review of some of the big changes. So now if you run a script, this is my hotkey script. If I run it from here, notice this icon changed, and I can right-click and let's see, is it here? No. I don't know if I have the most recent version, but under run, I can kill running scripts, and so I could actually pick and choose which scripts I want to kill, which is cool, and I can just kill selected. I can select them and just kill those, because sometimes you'll launch something, and notice also this is an executable, but it detects there's a hidden AutoHotkey GUI, so we know it's built with AutoHotkey. And even like Quick Access Pop-Up, it's built with AutoHotkey, right? And so it allows us, I could kill them all. This should have, I don't want to do it, but it should have a message box that says, are you sure? I can also, if it's a script, I can say edit or open the folder or just kill it directly. Maybe we should even have a delete. Nah, this is running scripts. I don't think delete here. What I was thinking about adding, though, is in here, if I right-click, notice, hold on, let's see here. Right here, I can say close, save as. I was thinking we should have a delete. And of course, obviously, we'd have a confirm, because sometimes you might click it accidentally. But I think it'd be very cool. Sometimes I'm working with something I'm playing with, and I'm done, and I just want to delete it. I don't have to open the folder and then go delete it. Or maybe if we held down Shift or Control when we click this, it would delete it. But I want to keep it very obvious, so I don't think I would do that one. I think we just have a delete option. It'd also be up under here. But I think that'd be pretty cool. Let's see. So we can tell which one's running. We can tell when it's active that we have this big dot, and I can still tell that's running because it has the running man there, right? And if it was run as an admin, it would have an AD there. What else did we add? Lots of little stuff we're just adding to it. Yeah. But it's coming along really, really well. We are working on adding the debugger. That's the very next. Once we add the debugger, I'll probably stop kind of adding all the little onesie-twosie things. We did update the stats part. Oh, that's kind of crunched in here. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Oh, it's because I changed the DPI. So I'm going to have to let Irfan know that, like, this needs to get updated. Let me see if I close it and restart it. Although, because it was already running, yeah, and now it's not crazy looking. Nope, it's still crazy looking. So I don't know if we can do a status bar with the DPI. It does look better. But you see, we have a lot of information in the status bar, including the bitness it's run with, the last time it was modified, the zoom level. If I was to change, and I have a hotkey, of course, for doing this. And now let me close and restart it. It should look better. If not, then we have a bigger problem than I thought. That's better, but it's still a little dense to me. But it definitely is better. So it is the DPI that's playing with it. This, by the way, is my tool for sending, because I don't usually just use hot strings on their own anymore. I will use these functions to paste the text instead of having AutoHotkey send the letters and characters and mouse clicks, because a lot more and more programs are becoming unreliable when you do that. Let me bump back up the DPI here. So again, I have a hotkey that just makes, I don't have to go navigate to it because it's annoying. So yeah, by the way, also I added in this script, I added the date modified. And I might, after the beginning of the year, for me, I might remove the year because I'm only running the script for recent stuff. But it was nice to have a date where I could sort it by date modified, which is also a little trick you learn. If you put it year, month, day, when you click sort, it's super simple to sort because it will sort on the date created, oldest to youngest or however you want it. All right, let's keep going. Selecting actions. So I've been doing lots of stuff. Edit swap. That's built into our ASM. Yeah, that's where that. Let's see. Editor. Well, we got a lot. Let me get going here. Editor hotkey. So our AutoHotkey lookup tool. Let me launch it. It's going to go across all of my running scripts. All right. So this is our updated version. And we made some really cool changes to this. So now, and this is what happened last week actually, or the week before, I was searching, let's say, media. And it was filtering, and then I had changed it to filter on, let's say, my one hot strings tool. Well, I forgot I had text here, and it was applying a filter, and it wasn't loading. And so I told Irfan, hey, when we change this, we should wipe this out, the search text, right? Because it's kind of the normal behaviors you think. We also moved it where now the hotkey legend, instead of showing it here, which was kind of ugly, now we put in a nice little, we use our notify class to put it right here. We can also notice, if we go back to, let's just show hotkeys. And if I toggle this hotkey string, here, notice it's showing you, oh, that's control N. What if I can't remember them? Oh, it's control. This helps you learn it, but you have to know what it stands for, right? So this, like I can just read it. And actually, Irfan didn't finish that. This should say, spell out control N. No, actually, I think I did that here. Yeah, sorry, I did that here. Not there, because this would get too wide if we put all the words there. Shows you the file, the line number, and you can double click and it will jump to it. Most of the time, we're also searching our trigger class. Here's the other really, really, really cool thing. If I show built-in hot, let me first start Excel. So note, Excel is running. And I'm going to move it out of the way, but Excel's running now. I'm going to say show built-in hotkeys. And now, look, here's Excel. I could say, let's see, hotkeys, center. Cell. I was hoping to see it. That's interesting. But there should somewhere in here. Oh, here's Excel. I wonder if we should, that's interesting. We could probably, for a program, we could change these to be the icon of the program. That might help a little. But notice we have built-in, it detected Excel was running, and then we have the Excel hotkeys. Or I could just change this to say only show me Excel hotkeys, right? And now, so maybe we don't need that because we have this drop down, right? So very cool. We have about 60 programs. And if you want to see the list, you can come here, list of supported programs. This allows you to go and see this list. There's, let's see, 61. Well, I think that's actually Outlook in a different format. So there's 60 maybe. But it's very cool. We have built-in, and thankfully Connie caught it. The Windows keys, somehow we had missed we had them. They were on our radar to put in here. They just weren't added. So now if you forget your Windows hotkey, I want to minimize. It's a quick lookup, right? So this is a really, really, really cool program. Perhaps at some point, the only thing I can really think to add to this that makes sense to me would be to have an AI capability to say, hey, I use DaVinci Resolve. I want to pull in the hotkeys that are known for DaVinci Resolve into this tool, because Connie asked about letting people add their own. And the problem is that would be people typing in stuff, and they would type it in wrong, and it would take so much programming. And unless we took that list and fed it to AI and said, clean it up and make it right and then get it back in here, it would take a lot of programming to make sure it gets in there properly and works properly. So if we added an AI aspect, we could say, hey, here's this program. Can you find the hotkeys for it? And then add them to our list. I could see that working, right? So that would be a really, I don't know if you guys comment below here if you think that would be a cool functionality. I think it'd be very cool, but I don't think we'll be adding it right away. We've spent already a crazy amount of time on this script, but it's one of my favorite scripts. It's something that both noobs and very experienced users really like, because I can't always remember all of my hot strings or hotkeys. Yeah, there's no built-in Windows hotkeys. Are there any in here for this? No. I have a ton in here. So you get the idea, right? And it's look at that, 100p sends the 100% with the emoji. So it's just a good, simple tool to remind you how to do stuff, your hotkeys and hot strings. All right, let's look up, speak. I was playing around. Okay, I'm just going to talk to this real quickly. We were playing around with the clone speak, and I have this script, which we published, I believe, where you can actually, let me see if I can run it. I don't know who's. Let me go edit it because I don't remember who I left the default speaker on. Is it running? Yeah, it's running. And then let me see here. Controls, consistency. Hit a hotkey. Controls, consistency, lower, more emotional variation. That's so awesome. So I was leading a marketing call, and I had a lot of text, and I'm like, boy, I don't know if I really want to say all this stuff. So I had already cloned my voice, so I made it where I can select text to hit a hotkey, and it, usually within a second, it starts reading it out loud, which is really cool. But we realized, hey, because of our other tools where we can transcribe things, so we can go to Notebook LM, we could create a video, have it generate the video, transcribe the video, and then take the timestamps for each thing said, so we keep it synced with the video, and swap out the AI speaking with my cloned AI me speaking. So we're like, wow, this is really powerful. We can make custom videos for clients, making it feel like we are talking to them, but AI could generate a lot more of the content, and then it's us speaking it. Very, very, very powerful for marketing, to grab people's attention. And of course, in the Notebook LM, that was where I demonstrated also. I had a bunch of stuff on, let's say, like unique selling proposition. I had a bunch of stuff where it created a really good video on it, but for one of my clients that they're in Phoenix, Arizona, and he's a landscaper, I told it to take everything in here, but customize the video and the infographics for a landscaper in Phoenix, Arizona. And it just gets really, really crazy powerful, right? So very crazy what's going to be happening here coming soon with marketing. So we were playing with Level Labs. They had updated their objects. We did little changes on ours, but we got it working where we could feed in the timestamps and stuff. We hacked it to see if we could do it. We can. We just need to make a script now that would automate it. I didn't know we made any changes to our AI OCR tool, but that is a super, super powerful. It's the only tool I know that for AI OCR that should have launched. There we go. Control Shift left button. So I can do this on a table, and theoretically, if all goes well, it's going to detect that was a table, and it's going to switch to list view, and it's going to show us the columns, because usually OCR has a really struggles with columns. Actually, I don't. Yeah, there we go. So notice I could even sort on the columns, which is really cool. I can right click and say copy column C, and here you'll notice I got all those dates. I can sort on that first column by file size, the location. I can copy a row. I can select all. I could read it out loud. This uses I don't want to read all of that. Let me try this. Oh, that's interesting. So generate audio, open router, OpenAI not. That's interesting, because that should have been fine. I'm just going to exit out of it. That was working fine the other day. We did make a change, because what was it? Claude made a change to their... No, OpenAI did make a change, as Aya said. So maybe, although I don't think they deprecated the old stuff, but OpenAI had made a change. And Claude let us know that it was having a problem. We updated our Claude library so it would work properly. But I was really surprised to see that error there, because I just used this the other day and it was working fine. Transcribe and summarize. This is one of my favorite tools. I use it all the time. We also have a transcriber. That's what this is, where now you just drag your videos or audio files there, and it will not only get the transcriptions, but you can have it get a summary and tags for the video. And I forgot, I need to add one more, would be create like 5 titles for the video, because it's nice to use AI to kind of come up with ideas that are more interesting, because I'm boring. So that would be one more I'd like to add there, is to be able to get the names of the video. So I'll have to consider adding that at some point. our API syntax writer. This was the V1 version, but we updated it to V2. And now, let me run it. I don't remember the hotkey. Actually, I think we added the trigger class to it. Let me see here. Oh, there it is. So, I guess he hasn't added the trigger class yet. Let me go back to ASM. Do I have a blank file? So if I'm writing, I can do an example template right here. And that's just an example API call. But notice if I wanted to add like a header, set a header, I have simple examples that I would then move up into. Now this is where you do have to have knowledge, right, of where this would go. I think it goes after the, no, but after the open and before the send. Like I said, you do need to remember how to do it, but we should have the trigger class out of this. You can set the cache levels, look at the last modified. So that's for getting info out of it, but you get the idea, right? Like we have a crazy number of options here that you can go through and have templates, because some of the stuff is kind of obscure and hard to remember. So like the set options, this is where your credentials, actually Zayas and I, we were talking about this just the other day. So yeah, you can set your username and password here, and some websites, some APIs will allow you to do that. And some of them will borrow it from your enterprise level login stuff. Oops. Authorization and bearer. This is another one where, yeah, it's very common in APIs you need to use a bearer token, but this is where it helps you figure all this stuff out, right? So that's our API syntax writer. All right, let's get back to here. Oh, that's the old. Yeah, okay. I'm running the right version, I think. Look up Excel file stacker. That's funny. Click grabber. Boy, I didn't know we could change any of that, but that helps you figure out where you want your clicks. Compare sets. I made some updates to this script a little bit ago, and the DPI is off, so it's a little off the screen, but it allows you to, it checks for duplicates. I'll run it, and it'll show you what's in one. There's 7 is in both, so 7 is here and here. You compare lists, right? But if I hit Control-Shift-C, notice down here it'll say 7. If I hit Control-Shift-A, it grabs that top list, and it tells you in the thing, if I were to paste that somewhere, which I'll paste it here, which is weird, but I'm just going to use it. Oops, it didn't take the new lines. But you get the idea, right? It allows you to check different the overlap between lists. Our create drive, boy, I didn't know we had made any updates to that. That's a great tool for creating little play drives. Gemini Explorer. Was I using Gemini to update that? I don't understand Gemini. Yeah, I don't know what that was. I forget. Animated GIFs. I was playing with this. I created a little video, or I had a video. I created it, converted it to an animated GIF using FFmpeg. This is still V1 scripts, though. Yeah, I think so. We need to convert that to V2. This is our note taker app that came up during the hero call. We were just talking it through. Oh, and actually does have a URL. I didn't realize that. Video append audios. This is the little playing with, let's see, 12, 11. Yeah, this is where we're just modifying it. I need to be looking at this more because up here I can see it's been a while. That's why I don't remember some of those. For concatenating the audio files together to put into the video. This tool, I use this in our extracts. So I have a bunch of intros, a bunch of outros, and I bring in videos here, and it sandwiches them together. It puts the random, if I have it, usually it starts off as random. So random intro, random outro, and merges them all for me, all seamlessly. I don't have to do a thing. Very cool, very helpful. Crop and remove audio. I was showing Joey this. And for auto cropping from sections, it takes Zoom calls, and I can remove the audio from the file or crop from a certain side, which has really helped. This one I didn't get to share with anyone yet. Let's see, find and replace Fine. Yeah, I think this is the newest version. It's not... Oh. I guess I got stuck in the middle. Let me see if this one probably will run. So, some tools, especially like web pages and stuff, you are not able to do a search and replace. So I thought, why don't we make it where we can go in, select the text we want. I don't have to copy it to Notepad or Cite or something to do it, but I could do a search and replace. So that's what I was working on. But I realized this is a cool tool. It works sort of, pretty much. It has a triggers class for having a hotkey to trigger it. But what I want to do is also make it where you could have your list and save them so I can later reuse them, the search replace, and with the words. This is the word boundary. Does it match the word or any? So this would only match one on its own with word boundaries around it, versus this would match if it was one more. If that was one word, it would still do the search replace in there. So I was playing with that. It was all generated with AI, and it was working fairly well. But that's what that was. Get active path. We're updating our triggers class. Add some cool functionality to that. I guess Urfian, he answered a question on Rifadium, and so I think he made a tweak to it. That's by far the most stable way to automate browsers if you're doing any sort of web scraping or something. It's a great, but you have to have admin privileges because you need to be able to download the driver executables, but it is a really great way to automate them. Here's media player. Here's my different media players. Now, it actually gives me a list. I'm still not done with it yet, so I haven't updated it on the download. But I can make a playlist. Instead of just choosing one folder, I can pick several folders, and it builds a playlist. Search replace a word. OBS banner. I didn't realize we made it. That's what this... which apparently it's not on. Where's this thing in front of it? Oh yeah, I might be putting them down here. That's what updates the stuff on the screen when and during calls and stuff. So prompt assistant. We made an update to Prompt Assistant, apparently, which is it's a great way for not having to learn how to do hotkeys and hot strings and to launch stuff. It's like QAP, but simpler, and in some ways more flexible. As I mentioned, the recent modified files, this is where I added this column. Text to speech. I was just playing with this. This will read out the... what you type, the text, but it uses your built-in Windows stuff, and it's just, the quality's not very good. But it gives you, it still was something, I was trying to do that instead of doing the AI voice, but it just wasn't good enough, so I switched over to the AI version. Automated Resource Finder, this has a list of all the stuff that we do all the time, so it's a great way to search for our videos or our downloads and other things and posts, and I think it has AutoHotkey help built into it as well. Automator Spy. That's what's built into our tool here. So if you click here, you get our spy tool instead of the built-in Windows Spy tool. It doesn't stay active the whole time, which drives all of us nuts. So if you move it to something, hit your right control, then it updates. And notice you could even filter. Like I can filter here. I can type it. It will filter this list or the all text. So I can filter it. Select stuff easily. It looks at the status bars. It looks at the classes under control. Sometimes it's nice to be able to filter. Also, it gives you this, and I think we have it built in where if you had a weird character, it would highlight it, which is really cool. But yeah, this will copy it to the clipboard, and we organize this differently where it makes more sense to us. So that's a really great tool that comes with HK Scriptmaker. Site. I don't know why anybody would have done something, moved it or something, but it looks like somebody did. Ultimate Spy. That's our really amazing tool for inspecting other web pages, or sorry, different programs. So allows you to understand the different approaches you might take. You remember this is what's running right now and keeps track of all the files I've clicked on, and so it grabs the link so I don't have to go keep track of that. Windows Stipper. We have a V2 version. We haven't shared it, but it still needs work. This was one of them. A member wrote and gave us his V2 version, but I'm like, we have a V2 version. We just haven't shared it. But his was very, very different than ours, and I just told him, we didn't have any interest in it, and I guess I didn't tell him nicely because he was not happy with my response. But yeah, sometimes that's just the way it happens. YouTube image. Oh, this gets our thumbnail for YouTube, I believe. This one, we actually switched it over to using JavaScript, so it'll update our download page. Windows, this is different versions. You can see I've been doing a lot of different versions. That's all in the old folder for that. But I'll get back to that one, and we'll make sure it's working properly and then share it. This is the get Windows visibility function I wrote, and %visible. Again, it gets complicated when you have more than one window, and that was where I was struggling getting it to work properly, but we'll get there at some point. Joe, I don't know what that is. Let's see. Yeah. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Just an idea of what we've been up to. So it's not meant to teach you the code. Somebody complained, yeah, this is all interesting, but I didn't learn how to do something. I'm like, yeah, that's not what the function of this video is. This video is to help give you ideas on things that can be done. So if you learned something there, like the video, check it out. Consider joining our Hero Club. It's a great way to keep learning AutoHotkey. And have a great day. Cheers.